Today we heard that the Texans, though not pleased with their quarterback play, would be looking for youth in the draft. Some people are saying cross off the Texans as a landing spot for Tony Romo. Is that what you're hearing?
Whatever their desires may be, there's certain constraints under the salary cap that are going to make a move for another quarterback making any considerable amount of money a difficult proposition. They still have J.J. Watt there. They've got A.J. Bouye. Are they going to be able to keep him? He emerged as a top corner. They have other needs. So I don't think it's realistic, but I also don't think it's impossible. I think Tony, this is one of the 4 or 5 places I've been told he would be interested in playing, and I think he'd be somewhat amenable to moving around some money to accommodate getting to a Houston, a Kansas City, an Arizona, a Denver. But again, they're stuck with Brock Osweiler. That's an albatross around their neck. Nobody's helping them out with that. And you're talking about $18 million.
So if you were going to do the ranking, you mentioned Kansas City, and people are like, well, they're happy with Alex Smith, but there's limitations there, right?
Yes.
At some point, you got to, just like in San Francisco, where he could get him, he could get him to the river, but he couldn't get him all the way to the promised land.
Right.
What do you think the rankings are most likely destinations?
Well, I mean, I look, Jerry Jones is not going to send him to football Siberia.
Right.
He's not going to send. Right, he's not sending him to Cleveland. He's not going to do anything where this guy's going to get his brains beat in, and he's going to come back and get retired in the Ring of Honor 5 years from now and say, Jerry, what did you do to me? So he'll play ball with Tony. So I think those 4 teams I mentioned will be the crux of what they're looking at. Ideally, they trade him to the AFC. 3 of those teams are in the AFC. One is not. Obviously, Arizona, who I mentioned. Outside of them, I don't really know. The Jets, boy, there's not a lot of infrastructure there. It's a great media market. It would help further cement Tony's second career, which I think will be in the media, and I think he'll be great. But again, that's a rebuilding team at this stage. Where are they going to be 2 years from now when his contract's up? So I think it's one of those 4 teams. As to which is more probable than the next, I'd keep an eye on Arizona.